Hi, welcome back to the Gemhawks YouTube channel. Today I want to show you a multi-purpose base for pendants, or a back if you prefer to know it that way. This is the type of thing we're going to create, and I'll show you that on the board in just a second. Variations like so. I'm working with 1mm gauge and 0.4mm gauge raw copper again today, and I'll put the American alternative wire gauges in the description below as I upload this to YouTube. So the types of things that you can do with one of these, if you follow me down to the board, I will show you. So these Heady style designs all started as a base like this, or a back like this. Slightly more elaborate on the bales because I knew that I was going to be making larger pieces, but you can obviously up the design on the bale if you wish to. But on the back, underneath this spiral, you will have a base very much like this, and this one you can see the base already there with Larimar and raw Baltic amber on there. So let's pop those out of the way for the second, and let's look at the things that we're going to make for you. So basically, these frames are really multi-purpose and useful objects. These can, as I say, be used in many different ways for different projects. And what I'm going to do now is show you one of the ways that that can be used. If you have a cabochon and you've seen my multi-purpose prong setting in the past, instead of doing a back which is basically just woven fine wire, you can add one of these multi-purpose pendant bases instead. So that would lay over the front of the cabochon, and then you've got the multi-purpose base at the back. So hopefully this is something that will be useful in a couple of different ways for you. So I'm going to start with around about 18 inches to 45 centimetres of the 1mm gauge wire, and I'm going to create a roundish or an oval form. Obviously if I'm working with a specific cabochon I'll use that as a guide, but today I'm just going to use this bowl that I happen to have on my desk. Miniature mixing bowl. I don't quite know what it's for, found it at a jumble sale, really liked it, so there we go. We just made a basic shape there, and it doesn't need to be perfect unless, as I say, you are working for your explicit sized cabochon. So up at the top we're going to put two right angles on, or two 12 o'clock position angles, flip that one over and get one on the other side. And at this point we would then add on a length of 0.4mm gauge wire. I have some here which is connected to the reel in the bag, and you would just at this stage start creating the design of your choice for the pendant bale. Now you can make these and stockpile them for when you have more time later or when inspiration strikes you, but we're looking for a couple of parallel lines at the top, and then we're going to just curl these around and out of the way for a second, so that they don't interrupt our weaving down at the base. So I'm going to start by winding on one side around about 4 times, and we're going to make that nice and tidy like so, trim away the excess, and then we're just going to do a very standard basket weave back and forth to bring that all together. So we've got 4 on the first side, the wire, the finer wire, the 0.4 has come down the centre, underneath the second side, and then we're going to wind that around 4 times as well before we come back on ourselves. So what I'm going to do is pop this out of the way to one side and bring in a piece that I've prepared earlier, because you don't need to see me doing that 964 consecutive times. So we're just going to pop that out of the way for now. And this is what you will have achieved. So I've just crafted another round shape just here, and then woven back and forth up a good length so we can get a nice bale at the top there. Now what I often do is leave a gap of neck before I put the bend in, but in this design I actually want the bend to come away at the exact 12 o'clock position. So I'm just going to move those ever so slightly to one side, and I'm going to grip at the very top and just bring that woven section forward. So if I show you sideways, that's coming forwards. I'm going to borrow my clay roller. Thinking of firing up the kiln this week, so there might be some experimental silver clay. Haven't made any in a little while, so that should be good fun. So just made a nice bale form, and what we're going to do is draw those tail wires all the way through the centre. Now if you have warmed them in advance, it's really helpful. The left wire has come through the centre and is now going back over the left side, and the right wire will go over the right hand side. So we're just kind of linking that together and drawing them down behind the design on both sides, like so. So again, just giving that a bit of a warming and smoothing. Now at this stage, all we're really looking to achieve is to fill this space in the background area. And that's the reason that the wires are on the rear of the design, because we're going to make a coil on one side and a bit of a zigzag on the other side, which we will then interconnect with the finer 0.4mm gauge wire. So if we come back down to the board, we have quite a lot of wire to work with, probably more than we need, to be perfectly honest, but I'm never quite sure how large the frame is that I'm going to make. Obviously, if you're making something like this, you would want the frame to be just about 5mm smaller than the finished product, the finished design that you're working with. So you can overlap it slightly so that the frame won't be seen from the front of the design. It's purely functional, but it gives you a really solid base to work with. So on the one side, I'm going to trim this down. I can find my cutters to probably around about 4 to 5 inches in length. And I'm going to start at the end of that section of wire and create a coil. And I'm making this quite open. Once I've got that started, I'll switch to any flat facing pliers, give that a bit of a squeeze down, and try to create a coil that I know is going to fit in approximately half of the frame we've created. So you can modify that as you go. Now, if you wanted to size up and use a 1.25mm gauge wire, you absolutely can. It's a little bit harder to get it to do exactly what you want it to do, but equally it becomes a little bit stronger without you having to do any hammering or work hardening. So we've got a coil on the one side. With the other piece of wire, I'm just going to give that a little bit of extra heat, and we're going to see how many little forwards and backwards, nice little smooth forms we can create. And working with 1mm gauge wire is quite lovely because you can warm it to give you a little bit of fluidity, but you still do have a nice strong end product. So what I'm going to do is I've got sort of 3 little wiggles, and I'm going to bring the tail of the wire up around, and I'm going to trim that away so that I've got probably 1.5 to 2 inches of residue, and I'm going to make another tiny little coil. So back in with my round nose pliers, like so, switching to my flat facing pliers, and I'm going to just close that very end bit up, and I'll do the same on the other coil so that there's no end sections of wire that could get caught in clothing or skin. In all likelihood, you're going to do so much more work using this base that will probably completely disappear anyway. Now, for the next stage of this demonstration, what we're going to do is take a length of 0.4mm gauge wire. We're going to start probably on the zigzag side, and we're just going to go backwards and forth between the outer frame, the zigzag, and the coil, and we're just going to connect this with either 1 or 2 coils around each of those 1mm gauge wires, and just coming backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards. And what that will stop is the ability for this to move. It will become a much firmer item. So you kind of have like a webbing design almost. Let's grab the other one as well. There's a little bit more wire in this one, and it's just coming backwards and forwards to connect everything together. So I'll show you the basics of that. It's much easier if we work with a cut length, so I'm going to take a good foot of wire. With this design in particular, it doesn't matter if you have a number of lengths of short wire. You can add on more if you find yourself coming to the end and there's a bit of a patch that doesn't have quite enough wire connecting everything together. You can absolutely make a way to sort of add more wire on. The reason I try not to do that is because the more wire sections you have, the more wire ends you have. The more wire ends you have, the more likely it is that that could come unfurled or perhaps interrupt the skin, get caught on hair or clothing. So I'm just going to come to a point of easy access, and I'm just going to go behind the main frame but above my zigzag section. and I'm going to go into the middle of my 12 or so inches of the 0.4mm gauge, and I'm going to wind that around a couple of times to get a good foothold to start with. Now, as I say, this will be behind the main feature of your finished pendant, so you don't have to be as strict in keeping count of number of coils. So the basic technique, and I'm only going to show you a short amount of this, is to connect everything together. So I'm going to bring the tail of wire from underneath the zigzag up over the frame, and I'm going to coil around the framework twice, once and twice, and then I'm going to find another point to come back to on that zigzag section. Now this is coming to come quite close together, so what I think I might do is do 2 coils around the zigzag section itself, and then come back down underneath the outer frame, and then wrap twice around both of those pieces of wire. So I'm wrapping the section that leads into this coil to the outer framework, and you can just push that through if it's slightly easier for you. I think I might do that another time, like so. Push that down if it's easier, and then I'm going to give that a gentle squeeze to lock that in position. So that's now nice and secure. And I'm going to bring the tail of the 0.4mm gauge up between the coiled section and the outer framework. I'm going to allow that to move a little bit further around the frame before I coil twice around the outer frame, and then sneakily I'm taking a loop of wire and popping it over the top of this coiled section. And I'm going to do that again, taking a section from the centre over the top, give that a nice squeeze, and then bring that up through. So we've just coiled twice around the coil section, back to the frame over here, and I'll go twice around the outside frame, and then I'm going to hook onto that coil again as close as I can to the end. And again, I'm just using a section of the centre wire. It puts less stress on your your 0.4mm gauge. And I'm going to take the tail up, and at this stage I'm going to join these 2 sections together. But I'm going to do that just by coming over the top. Let's get that one out of the way. Over the top of the larger coil and around. And again, I'm using this technique where I'm just taking a loop of the wire to put less stress on it. That's coiled twice, up the centre, and then back to the main frame around the outside for a double loop. And then it's just a case of coming backwards and forwards and connecting things together. Now I want to fill this space up here, so I can open that loop a little bit if I need to, keep those coils nice and tidy. Bring the end of that 0.4mm gauge up, and then take it around the outer framework. We've only really filled half of this frame at the moment, but I've got enough of a residue of 0.4 to take that back to the inner coil one last time, and then I would probably take that wrapping around a good 3 or 4 times, and maybe just use up the remainder of the wire, just to get a really good end grip on there. And then what I'm going to do, because this is the inside of the design, I'm going to cut that slightly towards the front. Now we would normally want to hide that away, but because we're either going to put a mass of smaller cabochons or a big flat cab over it, and then perhaps trap it with a piece of prong setting, cheat prong setting wire, you've got lots of different options. That is basically the nuts and bolts of the design. Oops, let's pop that one over there for a second. So you've got a couple of examples just here, and these show you how just zigging backwards and forwards with that finer 0.4mm gauge wire gives you a great deal of strength, and there are so many ways you can use this. So I'm just going to bring one of these up to show you here. This is my multi-amber Heady-esque design, and then I also have one to show you in Larimar, and these will have both started out with this exact multi-purpose base. So I hope that you've enjoyed the demo today, and thank you very, very much for joining me again. Bye for now.